Lyle, would you please?
Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, we got it called to order. We got the pledge. We got a roll call
Chair Algauer.
here.
Interim Vice Chair Chester. Here. Commissioner Beck.
Here.
Commissioner Higginson.
Here.
Commissioner Snodgrass.
Here.
And Commissioner Vick.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, with that, can we get approval of the planning commission minutes of August 21st?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Thank you. I get a second?
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay. So are we you're gonna do that disclosure of the A part right now?
We can do that after the public comment on items not on the agenda. Do we have any speaker slips? Okay.
Okay.
So then we can do the ex parte communication on any of the items on tonight's agenda.
Okay. So we're gonna open up the public hearing. Do we have any speakers not on the agenda?
No speakers.
Okay, good, all right. So we wanna go to the first item on the agenda? Okay, who's taking that?
That would be me, Honorable Chairman. Did we want to do the ex parte disclosures?
Yeah. That's what he said.
Answer in the negative to move on or what? So, no.
Is there any negative on that?
None.
Okay, seeing none, we're good.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair and Planning Commissioners. I know that some of us maybe had a late night last night, so appreciate you guys all being here today. Item number 2 is a conditional use permit to expand the use of an existing commercial office building to include a commercial truck dealership within the rear of the property to allow for truck and trailer storage at a site at 31497 Outer Highway 10. The applicant is Commercial Truck Pros. So the site is located on a 0.65 acre parcel on the south side of Outer Highway 10. It's a fairly hilly parcel with a roughly 30-foot change in grade from the north to south property line. And it is currently improved with an office and parking area with 2 rough graded pads. And it is located within the CS Land Use District, south of the I-10 freeway. The tenant, Commercial Truck Pros, moved to this property from another site located a few blocks away. And as a part of that, they cleared a non-conforming trailer and waste materials from previous uses, including code enforcement uses. There's a photo on top that shows the previous state of this site. They initiated a significant amount of grading and began commercial storage of trucks at the rear of the site, which prompted the code enforcement action for the unpermitted grading and the unpermitted land use. And the applicant has worked diligently with staff to correct this code enforcement case. The conditional use permit aspect of this includes the expansion of the existing use for a rear parking area to display commercial trucks and trailers with additional parking moved from the front of the site to the back. It includes the grading of an additional pad. The rough grade that's existing will be expanded slightly, and the existing building will continue to assist in the operations. The site will relocate, like I said, the parking from the front to the back and will include 7 total spaces. And the existing business indicated that they typically have 3 employees per shift with hours from 8 to 5 Monday through Friday and a shortened shift on Saturday. The site plan is on the screen above. It will include aggregate base to the rear of the site with 25-foot minimum drive aisles to accommodate two-way traffic. The existing office will remain at the front of the site And given the existing topography, the applicant will lower the upper pad to reduce the visibility from the right-of-way, and include approximately 14 spaces for commercial vehicles with additional space for box trailer storage, with additional length and widened drive aisles to accommodate those larger vehicles. The remainder of the site will be landscaped with perimeter landscaping in between sensitive uses, planting along slopes to stabilize the hills, and all of the proposed landscaping will need to be ultimately reviewed by the city's landscape architect. As a part of the project notice, noticing the surrounding property owners were noticed and no responses were received. Pursuant to the CEQA guidelines, this project qualifies for a Class 32 categorical exemption as it's considered an infill development on a 5-acre or less site. Here are a couple of photos of the existing site. And so it is staff's recommendation that the Planning Commission conduct a public hearing and approve measures A through D above. I'm here if you guys have any questions. The applicant is also here. That concludes my presentation.
Anyone have any questions for staff at this time? Okay, is the applicant here? Did the applicant wish to step forward? Okay,
Is this property going to be directed at truck sales or storage primarily? Sales, okay.
Here, we should make sure that at the mic, just to make sure it's.
Yeah, I just heard that the initial code enforcement violation was for the storage of trucks, but it was probably storage of trucks that you were intending on selling?
Yes, when I
Okay.
relocated, I had quite a few trucks.
Right on. Sounds good.
anyone have any questions for the applicant? Okay,
Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
sir.
I do appreciate it.
we have any public comments?
No, sir. No
Okay,
comments.
thank you. Okay, with that, we'll just close the public hearing and move to the commissioners. Commissioners, you have any comments?
Yeah,
We'll
I
start
think,
with my right.
no, that will come to my, so I'll do that. Thank you, Commissioner O'Gower. I think, when I drove by, this is obviously this whole quarter of businesses is quite the eclectic mix of use and truck sales and things like that. And I think part of that is such the visual aspect of this quarter from the freeway. And I think the relation of what people kind of drive through Yucaipa and things like that. And I appreciate the fact that you are trying to improve it and address the code enforcement issues. My question is the emphasis of the visual from the freeway. And I looked at the adjacent storage yard that has done some kind of frontage landscaping, and I'm not sure with the setbacks and things like that, whether the city would consider possibly redirecting some of that landscaping improvement to the front, maybe to enhance the visual. And again, I understand you're trying to invest in this, but I just look at that and I look at what the adjacent storage place has done. Could there be anything that would enhance that visual? Whether it's a narrow planter or something even to the side there where right now it's just dirt. So that was my kind of suggestion, looking at it just from a visual standpoint. Because again, I think some more landscaping up front would enhance that appearance from the freeway and from the outer highway. And I know you're doing truck sales, but I'm just thinking rather than, again, visually I was trying to see it from the freeway and I don't see anything in the back. So, it's very utilitarian in the back from the standpoint of that. So that was my suggestion to staff, whether that could be considered in the application.
So the adjacent section here is to be included in the landscaping plan.
I didn't see that
Certainly.
on the plan, Christian, so maybe you can go back to that.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, there was some on the side. I guess I'm looking more, at, it was a
Towards
really,
the very
really
front.
rudimentary landscape plan. And even in the front planner too, because it's a fairly, it's a fairly industrial looking building, a very basic commercial building, so.
And again, I've seen where the building down the road that was the office building that had the improvements, and again, I know we can't really impose that much on it, but could something be substituted to provide more enhancement along the outer highway corridor?
I think that if the planning commission would like to make that as part of the condition of approval, I think that's doable based on kind of the circulation of the existing parking spaces, including their ADA space.
I understand.
Some of
that.
that's a little bit limited, but certainly as you get past or to the left of the driveway, that really is not usable parking. And so in that case, that could be kind of sacrificed from asphalt to a planter area.
Would the applicant be willing to consider that? Yes, sir. Good, thank you. That's my comments.
Okay,
I don't have
Seth,
anything.
nothing? Richard? Nothing. Lyle? Yeah. Hey. Okay, with that, do we have some kind of a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve this item.
Are we gonna be adding the,
I would second it with the condition that it brings it back to staff to consider looking at more of enhancing landscaping in the front of the property rather than the rear of the property.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Seeing none, motion carries. Okay, let's move on to item number 3, the last item. Yeah, I know, move quick. Okay, next one will be case number 23-138. Special use permit for the agricultural review of 4 existing unpermitted structures.
Thank you, Honorable Chairman and Planning Commissioners. Today we do have case number 23-138, a special use permit with the architectural review of 4 unpermitted structures, including 1 465 square foot carport structure, another 325 square foot RV cover, and 2 378 square foot metal garages proposed at a multiple residential property located at 12282 Thomas Lane. It is approximately a half-acre parcel on the corner of Avenue D and Thomas Lane within the RM10M land use district. It is currently improved with a single-family residential single-family residence and is surrounded by other single-family residential properties. The site plan includes a 1,937 square foot single-family residence with those 4 existing and unpermitted structures. With approval, the proposed site plan would be compliant with all setbacks, but as shown on the screen, there will have to be some shuffling. The initial structure at the very front is what initially sparked a code enforcement case for unpermitted construction, and as a part of that, it was identified that there were several unpermitted structures on site in order to meet setback requirements, as well as to make sure that there's a drainage easement that remains clear. They will have to shuffle the site around a little bit. The 2 metal garages at the top have to be moved slightly to the east and slightly apart from each other in order to maintain fire separation. The RV structure towards the front will be relocated. It's actually a little bit further back than is shown on the screen to provide the street side setback, as well as to reduce some of the visible components of that. They are located in the rear yard, though there is some visibility from the right-of-way, and so Planning Commission may consider an additional condition to require some landscape screening, and the Planning Commission may consider all, some, or none of the proposed structures for approval. So there are 2 very similar RV carport structures. These are the 2 elevations. One is currently used to house the boat for the applicant. The other, the applicant has indicated, is kind of a shade structure where their grandchildren hang out and play, and I think they host some family events back there. It's 18 feet tall at peak height with tan steel panels and brown trim. And they, again, are 465 and 325 square feet respectively. The two metal garages are exactly identical to each other. They have one access door, one roll-up door, and are approximately 14 feet tall at peak height. They also are tan with steel siding and brown trim to match the home, and they're approximately 378 square feet. Here are a couple of site photos. As you can see, they will match the single-family residence. Towards the bottom, you can see the view from Avenue D, where there is some visibility. Again, the one that is located closer to the right-of-way is going to be relocated. As a part of this project, public notices were sent to all surrounding neighbors. One neighbor did come into the city to voice support for the project. And therefore, it is staff's recommendation that the Planning Commission review the architectural design of the proposed metal structures, and if acceptable, approve all, some, or none of the structures subject to the conditions of approval, adopt the special use permit findings as contained in the agenda report, adopt a categorical exemption subject to the California Environmental Quality Act, Class 3, direct staff to file a notice of exemption, and the Planning Commission may also consider adding evergreen siding along Avenue D. That concludes my presentation. The applicant is also here if you guys have any questions for them, and if you have any questions for staff.
I got a question. How many setbacks are we giving them on the structures? How many of the structures need setbacks, variance?
There would be no variance with the proposed site plan. They would be compliant with all required setbacks with the proposal.
Yeah, so they have to move some of the structures anyways because of an easement. And so with the updated design, since they have to move it anyways, they're moving it so it's out of the setback to avoid the variance. So since they have to move it, they decided to put it in a spot that avoided the additional cost for the variance.
Okay. Anyone else have any questions for staff?
So the neighbor that voiced their approval, I mean, from the standpoint, did they have any concerns provided they move the structures kind of accordingly then?
No, they were making sure they didn't have to sign anything.
Oh, okay.
They just came in and said that they were
Okay,
in support.
all right. Thanks, Christian.
Anyone else? Okay, is the applicant here? Wish to make a step forward?
I am the son-in-law.
Oh, we're not gonna hold that against you.
I will add, the applicant has been really great to work with. They've been very responsive to any questions that staff have had, so.
I'm willing to move them, just like Christian has said, and I came in as soon as we got the letter and came over here. I've been coming once a month, just trying to make up plans, trying to figure out a way for us to keep them. My father-in-law put them up before he passed away a couple of years back, so they're kind of sentimental. So I would appreciate it if I would be able to keep them and I can move them.
Okay. Anyone have any questions for the applicant?
Yeah, I think code enforcement generally is you're not alone in how you're dealing with this. I think it's pretty much a common thing in our lovely community. There's a lot of unpermitted work. So your willingness to step up and take the initiative to move them and make them correct and permit process, it's not easy. And so, you know, I, as a planning commissioner, I'd say that I would affirm your decision to do that and your willingness to do that. So thank you for taking those efforts.
Yes. Plant trees, plant more trees, whatever I need to do, man.
Yeah.
You know, we got fruit trees. We got
There you go.
tons of them, as you can see.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
With that, do we have any public comments?
No public comments.
Okay, with that, we'll close the public hearing and we'll move to the commissioners. Commissioners, start back down my right.
Start me again? I have no further comments,
Nothing?
Commissioner.
I have no comment. I just think it was great that they addressed it.
Oh, that's the reason.
Here come the jokes.
Okay, with that, can I get a motion then?
A motion to approve.
We have a motion approved. I have a second.
I'll second.
We got a second. So all those in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Seeing none, motion carries.
Thank you.
Okay, you're up.
All right. We might have a possible meeting in December, but that'll probably be the last meeting of this current planning commission. Certainly encourage everyone that wants to serve again to get their citizen service applications in. I know quite a few of you guys have, and yeah, we'll see. Certainly, we won't know the election results until the register of voters certifies it after 30 days after election, but certainly it seems that there'll be some changes at council level, and so it'll be interesting to see kind of what happens anyways. So possible meeting in December, trying to follow up on some of the council items. The Starling Heights specific plan ended up being approved by the city council at the last city council meeting. And then the freeway corridor specific plan was tabled, and we'll be having some additional outreach in the next couple of months for the community. And
I got a question on that Starling Heights. If they adjusted the approach, why wouldn't it circle back through the planning commission? Because it didn't go to the council under the same parameters it was presented to us. It was a custom or a specific overlay, wasn't it?
no, it was the same entitlement as what you guys saw.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. I thought I was here listening to the meeting, and I don't remember talking about like a specific overlay to avoid setback regulations or something like that. But it had been a while.
It was, they added interior parking, but kept the whole overlay, the specific plan, didn't move the stakes. It was an appeal. Basically went over our heads.
Yeah. So yeah, the project was the same as planning commission reviewed it, and that's all I got. This was a quick meeting, so no heavy hitters for the rest of the year. So no late night meetings to end the year with, which is I'm sure we're all relieved.
Ben,
Okay.
if the freeway corridor plan gets reworked, will it come back to the planning commission or does it stay with the council?
It depends, I think, on how much has changed. So we're still working with stakeholders on what it will be. So
Okay.
The meeting in December, do you know what dates that might be?
Christmas Eve.
it might be December 18th.
Humbug.
When is December what?
18th.
Okay, why don't we just move to the 24th? Okay. With, okay, with that, meeting adjourned. Oh.